Hello and welcome to FIA Pure Motorsport. On this week's episode, we'll show you some great hill climb action from Portugal. We'll introduce you to one of the world's fastest pilots on four wheels. We also have the opening of the FIA European Drag Racing Championship and much more from the world of FIA Motorsports. The second stop of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is at the Slovakiaring in Slovakia. The famous triangle promises 14 turns and 5.99 kilometers of pure racing action. 12 drivers will fight for important championship points, and as always, 4 races will be held this weekend. Right before the start of the first race, the sky opened up and the rain changes the conditions for all drivers. So race 1 gets underway in very different conditions to what the teams expected. Rain expert Norbert Kish leads the field after one lap under yellow flag conditions. For the reigning European champion, the track can't be wet enough. Under these conditions, he is in the class all by himself and quickly pulls away from the rest of the field. Meanwhile, Andre Kurzim tries to get past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, a move that does not work. Instead, the German goes off track and loses a lot of spots. Sascha Lenz in the purple truck and Antonio Albacete fight for second place for several laps. While Norbert Kish crosses the finish line with a huge lead, the Spaniard defends second place. Norbert Kish wins the first race at the Slovakiaring in a commanding manner. Antonio Albacete in second and Sascha Lenz takes a good third place. The second race starts under dry conditions. Andre Kurzim with the number 11 and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez lead the field into the first corner and get a lot of pressure right away from Jamie Anderson and Steffi Halm. In turn 3, it's a huge pile of trucks all in one place. The Portuguese driver Rodriguez is pushed off by Stephanie Halm. He lands on the grass, loses many positions from his original pole start. Jochen Hahn uses the duel between the two to pass Steffi Halm. Next, he overtakes Andre Kurzim and takes the lead. A great race by Hahn. Norbert Kish also fights his way forward through the field. First, the Hungarian passes Albacete and Anderson, and then he overtakes Andre Kurzim. When it begins to rain, Jochen Hahn's lead melts away. Norbert Kish is in his element again. It's only a matter of time until he catches up with Jochen Hahn and passes him without any problems. Norbert Kish wins the second race with ease. Jochen Hahn finishes in second place and Andre Kurzim in third. Everybody heads into the third race of the weekend with high hopes that it's going to stay dry. Norbert Kish starts from the pole position with Sascha Lenz alongside him. For Steffi Halm, the race ends early after she landed in the gravel. The positions at the front are unchanged. Kish leads ahead of Lenz and Albacete. Andre Kurzim is slightly behind in fourth place. Behind them, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and John Newell fighting for spots. The Portuguese leaves no room for Newell. He goes off the track and hits the barrier. And this is why the race had to be finished under the yellow flag. Norbert Kish celebrates his third victory in his third race of the weekend. An impressive lights to flag victory with almost 6 seconds lead on Sascha Lenz, who takes a very well-earned second position. Antonio Albacete rounds out the podium. In the last race of the weekend, the Hungarian tries to make it the Grand Slam, 4 wins in 4 races. But in the reversed grid, he only starts from the rear position. At the front, Mark Taylor and Louis Rekoenko lead the field into the last race at the Slovakiaring. As Taylor drifts to the outside, Jochen Hahn passes him. Louis Rekoenko, however, remains in the lead, and Norbert Kish also tries to make up a few places on the first lap. Norbert Kish is on a mission. He already passed Antonio Albacete and Sascha Lenz and is now chasing down the pack in front of him. A little later, he's already in third place and is now attacking Jochen Hahn. And the German can't keep up with Kish's pace. Hard to believe, but Louis Rekoenko held on to this lead the entire time. But now he is being attacked by Norbert Kish. The beginning of the end for the Spaniard. Jochen Hahn and Andre Kurzim also pass him. Norbert Kish wins his 4th race of the weekend. Jochen Hahn comes in second, and another podium finish for Andre Kurzim. So it's the Grand Slam for Norbert Kish at the Slovakiaring. The European champion made a strong comeback after his disappointing performance at the Misano ring and takes the lead in the overall standings. Jochen Hahn is second, 15 points back. Antonio Albacete is third with only a 2-point drop. There's no doubt that the FIA European Truck Racing Championship vehicles are the heavyweight champions of the motorsport world, weighing in at around 5,300 kilograms. That's about 5 times the amount of a standard road car. These beasts are powered by engines that are extraordinary machines in their own right. These powerhouses combine cutting-edge technology, turbochargers, and the durability to deliver awe-inspiring performances on the track.
So basically the engine comes from MAN, and this is like an internal part of MAN where they produce the race engine, and it's through a company called Petrofita, so they have the contract with MAN to supply the engine. The basic engine starts life as a 440 horsepower engine, and this engine here is 1,200 horsepower and 6,000 newton meters of torque. We have a different fuel pump, different turbo. The turbo is massive compared to anything racing in motorsport already. Okay, the injectors and so on, is a lot of internal work is done to the engine to triple the horsepower from standard.
The engines supplied to the teams hardly differ.
So we get the sort of blank engine. Basically, the only thing we need to mount to it is the clutch, the gearbox obviously, intercooler and fuel pipes and a bit of electric, that's all. So the actual unit we can swap with other teams very easily.
In the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, the maximum speed of the massive trucks is limited to 160 kilometers per hour. To have advantages on the racetrack, the engine has to perform better in other aspects.
Torque and horsepower. So yeah, for sure we have a limit to the top speed, but if you can get there quicker than everyone else, it's an advantage. If you get there from 70k to 160 in 3.5 seconds or 3 seconds, you know, it's half a second, it's a massive advantage.
Turbocharging plays a pivotal role in enhancing the performance of these massive trucks. By compressing the incoming air, turbochargers force more oxygen into the engine cylinders, resulting in better combustion and increased power output. The forced induction provided by the turbochargers significantly boosts low-end torque, allowing the trucks to accelerate quickly despite their weight.
As you can see, the biggest difference is the massive turbo we have fitted to the race truck. So this is what you see directly. Then the position of the engine, it's a lot further back than a standard truck. This is to get the balance of the vehicle a lot better and also to be able to change the engine. So we have 3 mechanics at every race weekend. We can change this engine in around 55 minutes from stopping to starting again.
If the case arises, the engine is replaced as a whole. It is contractually stipulated that the teams do not work on or open the engine.
So we concentrate on the cooling of the engine. So we have a larger intercooler, larger radiator or water cooler, and then we also spray water onto the intercooler, and this keeps the charge temperature down, and then we get more oxygen into the engine, and then we can hopefully have a smaller advantage over everyone else.
The normal engine life is around 1 season. At the end of a hopefully successful season, the engine will be returned to MAN.
Do a full engine service for us, so change the head and a few other bits and pieces. So the actual engine life, from our side, it's perfect to last the full season. And then we have the boost pipes, which we make ourselves, and intercooler and inlet, and then we run also a restrictor. Every team has the same diameter restrictor. This is supplied by the FIA, and this just limits some of the power that the engine can produce, and it keeps the sport a lot more competitive.
And with each race, these engineering marvels remind us that even the heaviest of machines can fly, driven by the relentless pursuit of speed and excellence. The first edition of Rampa da Falperra took place in 1979, and since then it has been a milestone in the motoring calendar in Portugal and Europe. Over the years, the race has become increasingly popular, attracting an increasing number of competitors and spectators. The 5,200-meter route of Rampa da Falperra is known for being winding and steep with sharp curves and constant elevation changes. These features make racing particularly challenging and exciting, requiring exceptional skill and careful strategy from drivers. Spectators will be able to witness the drivers' skill and courage as they tackle these difficult conditions of the iconic course with an average speed of 170 kilometers per hour. On the final day, the drivers have to complete 3 heats, 2 of which are included in the classification. In Category 1, the fans see a spectacular 3-way battle for victory. Poland's Karol Krupa in his Skoda Fabia CT only has the 3rd fastest time in the first run, but then he convinces with an incredible second run with the best time in Category 1. He takes the lead with a very good 3rd run to increase the pressure on his direct competitors. This means that the start position for Nicolas Verva from France before his last run is clear. He has to deliver his best performance in order to still pass Karol Krupa. In his Porsche 997 GT3R, he delivers a great performance. In the end, the best time for him this weekend, and with a lead of 0.12 seconds, he passes Krupa. He mastered the 5,002-meter long track in 2.07.939 minutes. That's incredible. The best time in Category 1 this weekend, and a challenge for Ronnie Bracci, the leader after 2 runs. But after an extremely unfortunate start to this season, Bracci shows his best performance of the season in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7 RS. In the decisive 3rd run, he manages an outstanding time. Bracci missed the Category 1 closed car record by only 0.02 of a second. Ronnie Bracci celebrates his first victory of the season. Nicolas Verva comes in 2nd, and Karol Krupa with a very good 3rd place finish. In the overall standings, Igor Stefanovski, who only finished 6th in Portugal, continues to lead after 4 rounds. Nicolas Verva is in 2nd place, and Norbert Nagy is in 3rd. In the competition cars category, the big favorite Christian Merli had a great first run. He was the only driver to stay under 1 minute 49 seconds. With a top result in the 2nd run, he can clinch the victory at Rampa da Falperra. He shows another great run, but in the last bend, his Osella FA30 skids and he hits the barrier head on. This is a big chance for the other drivers to take the victory in Portugal. After struggling with technical problems in practice, Joseba Iraola Lanzagorta from Spain improved from race to race. In his Nova NP01, he thrills the fans with his spirited driving and clinches another top result with 3rd place overall. Christian Merli's biggest competitor, however, is the Czech Peter Trinka. In the first run, he got the 2nd best time. In the 2nd run, he raced to the best time. He's also very fast again in the last run of the weekend. With 1 minute 49.462 seconds, he achieves his best time of the weekend and takes the lead. The pressure is now squarely on Christian Merli. The reigning European champion can only start in the last race with the help of Team Petit. Since Sebastian Petit is trailing behind after 2 runs, he lends the front apron of his Osella PA30 to his friend. Not only an unusual look for Christian Merli's car, but also an unfamiliar situation for him. But Merli does not let himself be irritated. After setting the best time in his first run, he achieves the 2nd fastest time in the weekend with an average speed of 172 kilometers per hour and confidently takes the next victory. Merli wins the event in Portugal. Peter Trinka is 2nd, 1.4 seconds behind Joseba Iraola Lanzagorta with a very good 3rd place finish. Christian Merli, who remains unbeaten, leads the overall standings by 14 points ahead of Peter Trinka and Joseba Iraola Lanzagorta. The second round of the FIA European Autocross Championship took place in Latvia. The track in Musa is one of the fastest of the season, but after heavy rainfalls, the drivers entered a mudfest. Arnaud Florian came out on top in the junior buggy category in the most difficult conditions. The Czech crossed the finish line on 3 wheels after losing 1 tire in the last round. In Buggy 1600, the track had already dried out a bit, but was still difficult to drive. The Austrian Remo Cobras had the best start and thus a clear view. The outsider used this to safely cross the finish line for his second career success. In the Super Buggy final, Frenchman Vincent Mercier had the best start. European champion Peter Nicodème tried everything to pass him in second position, but in these conditions he could not make use of the higher engine power. A clear success for Vincent Mercier. The second round of the FIA European Karting Championship for the OK and Junior classes took place at the Steel Ring International Circuit in the Czech Republic. The FIA Karting Academy Trophy also took part for the first time. The Academy gathers drivers from around the world in equal machinery to pursue international competition for the first time. In this end, Marius Barry-Berg from Norway prevailed, Hugo Marti from Spain came second, and Max Walton from Australia was pleased with third place. In the OK Junior category, Ukraine's Alexander Bondarev and Britain's Lewis Werrell had a thrilling duel for the victory. In the end, the Ukrainian was able to win by a narrow margin. Zach Drummond completed the podium in third. In the OK category, it was a clear affair for the Italian Gabriel Gomez, who also presented himself in brilliant form in the Czech Republic. Due to a time penalty for Alex Powell, René Lammers from the Netherlands took second place, and the Italian Sebastiano Pavan managed to finish in third. The reigning FIA Top Fuel drag racing champion Antti Horto is not your average adrenaline junkie. As a drag racing pilot, he fearlessly hurtles down the racetrack, defying speed limits and pushing the boundaries of automotive performance. With a passion for speed and a relentless pursuit of excellence, Horto has become a prominent figure in the world of drag racing. From a young age, Horto's love for speed was evident. His fascination with fast cars and racing grew, fueling his desire to experience the thrill of speed firsthand.
I was 12 years old, starting with the small junior cars, only 5 horsepower. First time when I was racing, that was the spark I was looking for, that racing 1-to-1 and loser goes home always. So I think that's the main thing, and what I like in drag racing is it's real and tough racing.
Horto quickly made a name for himself in the motorsport world, displaying exceptional skills and determination. His natural talent and dedication paved the way for his transition to professional drag racing, where he found his true calling.
I like that speed. I like that feeling at the top end. Like now when I'm racing with these top fuel cars, which has over 500 kilometers per hour top speed. So that's something you can't find anywhere else.
Drag racing is not for the faint of heart, and Antti Horto understands this all too well. The intense G-forces and split-second decisions create an exhilarating and unpredictable environment. Horto's ability to remain calm under pressure and maintain a keen focus amidst the chaos of a race has contributed to his success on the track.
You need to be calm. You have 10,000 horsepower behind your back, so you need to stay calm and give some respect for that horsepower. That's a lot. And when you can stay calm and you have a lot of runs behind you, you can make the right decisions, because you need to make those decisions on a track like this. It happens so fast, everything there.
Throughout his career, Antti Horto has shattered records and achieved remarkable feats. He's claimed victories in numerous prestigious drag racing events, including the FIA European Top Fuel title last season. The 29-year-old is now known for his lightning-fast reaction times and precise driving.
Before the start, I go through in my mind every step what I'm going to do on a track. So I'm going to prepare every time before I'm going to the track. I'm actually done it just before in my mind, and Then I'm starting to feel how the car feels. Can I go? Do I need to lift? Because with these cars in top fuel, there is only throttle is always on or off. There is no middle. There's nothing. So you go or not.
Off the racetrack, Horto is a respected ambassador for the sport. He actively engages with fans, sponsors, and aspiring young racers, sharing his experiences and inspiring the next generation of motorsports enthusiasts. The FIA main event at Santa Pod Raceway kicks off the new season of the FIA European Drag Racing Championship. Altogether, there will be 5 events this year. The last one is the FIA European Finals, again at Santa Pod Raceway in September. In the first semi-final of the FIA Top Methanol, the number 1 qualifier, Sandro Bellio, the reigning champion from Belgium, will face Silvio Strauch from Germany. Bellio in the orange and black dragster is the big favorite. Sandro Bellio with problems, and Silvio Strauch advances with a great time of 5.51 into the first Top Methanol final of his career. In the second semi-final, the number 2 qualifier Johnny Lag races against the only Top Methanol female pilot Lynn Flosvik from Norway. 2022 vice champion Lag on the right-hand side. Johnny Lag with traction problems, and Lynn Flosvik advances to the final with a top speed of over 422 kilometers per hour. So it's Lynn Flosvik against Silvio Strauch in the FIA Top Methanol final, the Norwegian driver on the left-hand side. And it's Lynn Flosvik all the way. The basis for success, her great start with a reaction time of an incredible 0.05 of a second. The first win in the FIA European Drag Racing Championship for this female driver from Norway with a new personal best of 5.51 seconds. Strauch also with his best run of the weekend. There's a full international field of 16 cars in the fan-favorite class of the FIA European Pro Modified Championship. Pro Mods are drag racing's fastest door slammers, cars with functional doors. In the quarterfinal, local hero and number 10 qualifier Bobby Wallace has to take on the number 2 qualifier from the Netherlands, David Vetker. Both with almost the same speed, around 400 kilometers per hour, but Wallace with the quicker reaction time at the start wins his quarterfinal. Now, because Andres Arnover suffered severe engine damage in his quarterfinals and was not able to be back in time for the semis, Wallace had a bye run into the final. His opponent will be determined in the semi-final between Jan Eriksson in the orange car and Bruno Bader from Switzerland. Bruno Bader skids and hits the wall. A clear success for the number 1 qualifier Jan Eriksson. He reaches the final with a time of 5.83 seconds. The Pro Mods final. Jan Eriksson is the favorite up against Bobby Wallace, who is desperate to celebrate a success in front of his fans. Jan Eriksson is in front from the start. A great performance from the Swede. With a time of 5.74 seconds, he wins the final against Bobby Wallace. Without Antti Horto, it's Ladies' Day in Top Fuel. In the qualifying round, Swede Susanna Kalin resets the FIA European speed record with a speed of 515 kilometers an hour. In the quarterfinals, she competes against Stig Nergaard in her yellow Top Fuel dragster. A clear success for Kalin, and because she has a bye run in the semifinals, she advances to the final. In the only semifinal, it's an all-women's affair. Ida Zetterstrom will meet the Swiss Yindia Erbacher. Both ladies are in top form right now. Zetterstrom is on the right. What a run by Ida Zetterstrom. Not only does she make it to the final, but the driver from Åland, Finland storms to a stunning 3.773 seconds at 516.59 kilometers per hour to reset both sides of the FIA European record. This promises to be a great final between Susanne Kalin and Ida Zetterstrom. Susanne Kalin has problems at the start, and Ida Zetterstrom wins the FIA Top Fuel final with a time of 3.8 seconds. It's the second win for Zetterström since she entered the top fuel class last season, and her first win at Santa Pod. That's it for today. On our next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we'll show you some great autocross action from Machenberg. We'll also have the stop of the Formula Regional at the Hungaroring, and we'll show you the FIA Rally Star American Final. Till next time, take care everybody, and ciao.